corner here.
There goes the fox. Hubby just noticed they've got flowers on the light posts. It's for the Tulip Festival. There are no, those are cool. There are no tourists. They're going to be here, just locals. I want to see what that looks like on the other side. Yeah, somebody had sardines. Whoops, purple. A purple flower. This place, I think, is going to be a restaurant. So I didn't tear it down. That place is getting higher. I'll have to show you the flower car later. Hoping to get over to show you the tulips if it doesn't rain this weekend. We are being blessed this morning. There's a whole bunch of geese. But look, there's even more. Where? Hold on. I got them everywhere here. There's more. I've never seen so many. All in a single file. Well, these ones are likely easier for me to get. Where's the other ones? They're there. Well, where'd you guys go? We have rogue geese. Cool. Good evening, everyone. White Witch 110 here. This is the last installment of It All Began at the Cabin, and I am overjoyed to read that you've been enjoying this. I wasn't sure how it would be received, since everyone's used to my spooky side, so I'm really pleased with this. I do have a couple of other ones, and a matter of fact, one is a sequel to this one. So I will be reading that one at some point. Just let me know if you'd like it right after this or a little bit of a break. But let's get on to the last part of It All Began at the Cabin. To us, she replies, "Come on, Abigail. We'll get together in Toronto. I'm not saying farewell. I'm saying ciao, which also means hello." Abigail didn't care what you called it. He was leaving soon without her. Somewhere in that crazy mind of hers, she hoped that they would make solid plans, or at least leave together. There is this dread that she wasn't going to see him after this holiday. "Abigail, please." The wanting in his eyes melted her heart. "You're right." That night in her bed they made love and forgot all about him leaving. They expressed the profound passion they share for each other in these extremely intimate moments. Dad, Abigail addresses her father at lunch the following day. "I really have enjoyed being here again." "I'm glad you have, Abby. You know I'm worried about you going back." "I realize that, but I'll be careful," she tells him. Careful isn't enough in this case. I want to go back with you to make sure you're going to be fine. Dad, there's no need for that. I'll be fine. I have friends I can be around. I won't be alone, Abigail insists. You can't blame me for being protective after what I've seen. All I want is for you to take care of things and get back here. Don't worry about the place to stay or work. That will be taken care of. Dad, I don't want you making things easy. I have to do this on my own. I realize that, but we are all here to help you make this move as easy as possible, Nick points out. That's what family does. Back at the cabin, Nicole and Rob are getting dinner ready. Nick and Abigail arrive back. Hey, how was your day? Rob asks. Great. We had a good conversation. Nick looks at his daughter. It's good to be back with Dad and you guys. I understand everyone is concerned about me going back, but I will have friends around me, so there's no need to worry, Abigail tells them. But we were all here and that didn't stop him. What makes you think that your friends back home are going to help? Nicole questions her. They know him. Please don't worry. I promise to get back here as soon as I can. I'll get things started in the first week I'm back. Does that make you all feel more comfortable? Abigail asks. Not really. You're still on your own, Nick says. Just then, Scott walks through the door. Scott, can you make her see sense? We are all concerned about her going home alone with that nut back there, Nick pleads. I agree with them, Abigail. You really need someone with you when you go back, Scott states. Well, who can come with me? Dad, you need to be here for work. Uncle Rob needs to be here for work. The same with Nicole and James. You're all busy with work, and Scott has business to take care of. I've been alone all this time. I can handle it. At this point, Abigail does not want to discuss it anymore. All she wants to do is enjoy the remainder of her vacation. Dinner is ready, so they all take a seat around the table. Nicole speaks first. Abigail, I'm sorry we've been drilling you about going home. This is your vacation, so let's enjoy what is left of it. Thank you. As usual, Abigail goes down to the lake to think. Back in the kitchen, Nick speaks to his brother-in-law. Rob, I don't feel comfortable with her going home alone. Nick, I understand, but she won't take lightly to you following her. Abigail knows this guy better than all of us. Let her handle it her way. Nick agrees reluctantly. Before long, Scott joins her. They only want you to be safe, Abigail. Your family loves you. I understand, but I have to do something on my own. I know Tom. He won't hurt me once I'm home. She tries to convince herself. That's because he'll be hanging around your place, he points out. No, he won't be. I know that there's another woman in the picture. Abigail, the man had a knife to you. What makes you think another woman will make a difference? Scott asks. She turns to face him. He only needed to be sure that I wouldn't interfere. He knows that I won't. The entire situation is over. Abigail takes a deep breath. Thank you for coming to my aid. I really was scared, I have to admit. How do you think we all felt? I've never experienced anything like that before, and I'll be happy not to ever again. I'm only glad you're all right. I'm tougher than you think. Yes, you are. Scott pulls her into him and begins to kiss her. Am I staying the night? He inquires. Only if you want to, she smiles. Her wildest dreams were nothing like this. Meeting him the way she had and all this, It has to be a dream. Another kiss, then they make their way back to the cabin and up to her room. Abigail doesn't want to leave, even though she knows Scott is headed back to Toronto soon. They make love again under the darkness of her room. The moon is bright and casts a soft shadow in her room. One moonbeam falls upon his face. Abigail makes out a smile of contentment. "I love you, Abigail," Scott whispers. "I never thought I would say that, but I do. I don't understand how in this short length of time I feel this way. Because our souls have met in another lifetime. I felt an attraction towards you that has nothing to do with how your public persona is. This is much deeper than that. We are meant to be together. We only need to find a way to." Abigail pours her honest feelings out once more. In his head, Scott knows all the reasons this can't work, but he's too much of a coward to admit it to her. Every word that comes from her lips is the emotion he himself is feeling. He doesn't want to lose her. The following morning, Scott has planned a day for them together with the permission of her father. "I appreciate your thoughtfulness, Scott, in asking me. I don't mind one day. We've got a few more days to spend time together." "Thank you." Scott takes Abigail over to the mainland for one-on-one time. They tour the museum and have lunch at a beautiful restaurant downtown overlooking the water. They laugh and reminisce about their first week together. Longingly, they gaze into each other's eyes. They've said all the words needed to explain their emotions. Scott holds her hand as they make their way to his car at the ferry dock. A short trip across the water, and they are back on land. His car travels its well-known path up the driveway to the garage. Another night in paradise. The following 2 days are spent with her father and the evenings with Scott. It's Friday morning. Rob hosts a barbecue in honor of his guest. After dinner, Scott takes Abigail down to the gazebo. "There's something I need to tell you." Scott sits beside her and takes her hand. My God, I don't know how to say this. He is desperate for words. "Just say it." Abigail is hopeful that it's about their relationship. There is excitement in her voice. "I'm married." Abigail sits there with a blank expression on her face. She's in shock. "Abigail, I'm married." "How come I never read anything? I never read anything about this." "You don't have to lie if you don't want me. I'll leave you alone. Don't worry, I won't bother you." She gets up to leave. "Abigail, please, I'm telling you the truth." "Why?" is all she says. "Because I've fallen in love with you," he answers. "How can you when you have someone else? How could you do this to us?" My God, does your wife know you do these things? I feel horrible. "Please, Abigail, don't. Don't what? Feel horrible? You're a married man who led me on. If you weren't leaving, would you have told me? Does my family know you're married?" she inquires. "No. It's been kept out of the press by my manager. He figured it would be better for my career." "Why would you go along with it? And how does your wife feel about it?" Abigail asked. "She's coping with it." "Copes with it?" She laughs. "No woman should have to cope with it." "She doesn't really care as long as I make a living at it," he tells her. "You have got to be kidding me. What woman would agree to something like this? Do you know how I feel? Why would you do this to the both of us? And I don't mean you and I." She is offended. You aren't who I thought you were. Scott reaches for her hand. Abigail pulls away. I never meant for this to happen. Abigail turns quickly towards him. For what to happen? For us to happen? Did you just want to roll in the hay? This was all about screwing a fan, wasn't it? She is infuriated. It was never like that with you. Don't even say it. Scott raises his voice. Then why would you allow me to fall in love with you when you're married? You loved me before we met. That was different. I loved you like a fan then. Meeting you was a dream, not a reality. Then you walk into my life, and I'm ecstatic. Here I am believing I'm getting to know the real you and falling in love, truly in love. Then you tell me this? I'm more than miserable over this. I can't even imagine how I would feel being her. Abigail shouts at him. She won't know. Scott hangs his head. And how many others have there been? I feel so sorry for her. Why do you stay married if the relationship is like this? I love her, he simply states. Then how can you love me? I feel used, worthless. I don't want to see you again. Please stay away from me. Abigail leaves the gazebo for her room. Hey, Abigail, what's... Nicole starts to say as her cousin rushes by her. She shrugs her shoulders and continues chatting with the family. Her dad makes a move to follow, but Nicole stops him. Leave it be for right now. In the gazebo, Scott sits, his head in his hands. He knew this was going to happen, and he didn't stop it. From the beginning, he knew. How would it go any other way? He was being selfish, and now he would pay for it. Abigail never wanted to see him again. His life feels void suddenly. He should have taken care of things at home before starting this. The outcome would have been much different. He wonders if they all know up at the cabin. How is he going to face this? Realizing there is no use in putting it off, he drags himself up and ambles to the cabin, making himself ready for what's to come. Everyone cheerfully greets him, so he says not a word. Abigail came up here. She looked very upset, Nick tells Scott. Scott says nothing about their conversation, but thanks everyone for their kindness during his stay. He makes his way woefully to her room. Up in her room, Abigail can't contain the tears. She cries uncontrollably. There's a soft knock at the door. Come in, she sobs. It's Nicole come to check on her. It's you. Whoops, sorry, I got that mixed up. It's Scott come to check on her. It's you. I've just come to get my things, and I'll be out of your hair. Scott quickly picks up his stuff, then begins to leave. For what it's worth, I truly do have feelings for you, and I wish I had handled things better. Matter of fact, I wish I had settled things at home. Then I wouldn't be leaving unless I was with you. Too little, too late. He turns and leaves. Abigail sits on her bed, his last words sinking into her. Should she run after him? Should she call him? Why is she thinking like this? He cheated on his wife with her. She has to be strong and stay the course. Outside, Scott says his goodbyes and promises to visit anytime he is in town. Abigail hears the tires as his car sped away. A while later, there is another knock on her door. It's Nicole. Hey, cousin, try and cheer up. Scott said he'll be back when he visits. I don't care. Maybe you'll meet up in Toronto. I know he cares about you, she expresses. No, he doesn't, Abigail replies. What's wrong with you? He has to get back to Toronto. He has business to take care of. Nicole is surprised by her cousin's attitude. Yes, he does have business to attend to, and he should have done that before he came here and promised the world. What the hell are you talking about, Abby? Now is as good a time as any. He's married. She looks up at Nicole for her reaction. He's married. He told me at the gazebo. That's why I ran past you all. I don't believe it. She sits down in shock. How could he keep this a secret? His manager took care of it all. It's better for your career if you're single. And his wife agreed to this? Nicole is in disbelief. I can't believe he did this. Well, he did. Abigail begins to dry her tears when another knock comes to her door. Come in. Hey, honey, I just came to check on you. Nick sees that his daughter has been crying. Abigail, you'll see Scott again. No, Uncle Nick, Nicole says. What do you mean, no? He's married, Abigail answers. He's what? Did I hear right? Yes, he told me he's married. But how? Why? Nick can't express himself fast enough. His manager has kept this information from his fans, so his base will grow. It doesn't look good if you're married, Abigail informs him. Nick takes a seat at her desk. This is unacceptable. I thought I had made it clear to him he wasn't to hurt my daughter. Nicole, did your father know? Not that I'm aware of. I'm sure he wouldn't have allowed them to get close if he did. Just then, Rob peeks in. Did you know? Nick demands. Know what? He enters the room. That Scott is married? Nick replies. No, he's not married. Whatever gave you that idea? He asks his brother-in-law. Scott. He told Abigail tonight before he left that he's married. His manager has been keeping it from his fans. I have a good mind to spill the beans. Nick's anger in the situation is understandable. I told that bastard not to hurt my daughter. Calm down, Nick. I understand where you're coming from, but acting in haste will do no good for anyone. Rob looks towards his niece. I'm so sorry, honey. I honestly didn't know. Does his wife know about this? About me, no. About fans not knowing, yes. He claims she goes along with it, Abigail says. Can't be much of a marriage if she allows this to go on, Rob comments. Stay away from him when you get home, Nick warns her. Don't worry. I'll not be going anywhere near him or his concerts. Everyone clears out of her room on the premise of her getting some sleep before her flight in the morning. Downstairs, Nick and Rob continue to express concern for Abigail. They agree this is the last thing she needed to happen after the incident with Tom. Early morning, and Abigail is packed and ready to leave. Her family takes her to the airport. It's difficult to say goodbye, her father says. I wish you would stay, Abby. Dad, I have things to wrap up in Toronto, but as soon as I can, I'll be back to stay. I promise. I promise all of you I will be back to stay the next time. There isn't anything left for me in Toronto. I can get a job here. That's not a problem. Abigail has made her decision. I'll be counting the days, cousin. I'm glad you finally made your mind up. You keep in touch, do you hear me? Nicole laughs. Yes, Mom. Abigail laughs along with her. We didn't spend much time together, cousin, but it was good seeing you again, James admits, giving her a hug. What Nicole said, you keep in touch. I will, Abby says in a melancholy voice. Abigail, you'll have room here to stay at the cabin. Don't try and find a place anywhere. Family needs to stick together. Her uncle hugs her, then steps back. My little girl is all grown up. It's been difficult believing it, but here you are. I'm so proud of you. You're a lot stronger than I gave you credit for. Be careful while you're home. Give me a call to let me know when you get there. Yes, Dad. I hate leaving. I'll miss you all so much. She hugs her father tighter. I'll get things cleared up ASAP. This is my home now. With that, Abigail makes her way through security to the boarding area. Her family eagerly watches her progress till she is out of sight. Indeed, Abigail has much work ahead of her to come back home to the West Coast. Secretly, though, she holds on to those nights she spent with Scott. There is still a hunger and need that never seems to expire. There is an anxiety growing that she will not ever be able to be with him again. The end. That's the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed this, the last part of it. I have enjoyed reading it. To my YouTube family, thank you very much for your support while I was reading this story, especially last night. That was I wasn't sure how it was going to be accepted, but I was very happy. And to anyone new coming through, please feel free to check out any of my other videos. If there's something there that you like, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. You can share them out. Family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, anyone you think may be interested. While you're here, consider subscribing. And if you do, click the notification bell so that you'll know the next time that I upload. Have a great rest of a Friday night. And have a great Saturday. We're expecting rain here, I believe. So we won't be doing too much this weekend. I was hoping to get out to the tulips, but right now it doesn't look like it. So thank you once again for your support for this different type of story. Let me know when you'd like to hear the next one, and I'll get right on it. And as always, thank you for coming by, and ciao for now.